All right, so this is a 1998 TRX 300EX Honda. It might be the same on quite a few others, but I thought I hadn't seen too many videos that weren't long-winded about how to solve this. My timing chain completely, I'd replaced it. For whatever reason, you need to reset everything back. Here's how you do it. So there's two tick marks on both sides. That is top dead center. That's where this gear needs to be in order to find it all centered up. Then when that's in that place, then that bolt right there is straight up and your two cam lobes should be down, should be pointed down. What this means is that the two, when the header is on, that these valves will be closed. This is the top dead center of the compression stroke. This is where you want it to be in that position. And if you need to rotate this gear around, all you have to do is pull this front bolt out right here, and then you can take a regular slotted screwdriver and you stick it inside there, and when you turn it, it actually gently releases some tension on the tensioner bolt, and then this gear will just slide on and off, and that's how you can pull that on and off. And then you need to have the piston at TDC, and how you do that is you remove this. That was a 10mm socket, which is a 10mm hex head, and then there's a 17mm inside there. And then inside that viewport there, you'll see there's a little an arrow up, and then there's a little tick mark. And you can find TDC by sticking your 17mm on here and then adjusting it just a little bit until you find it. So I know that my crank is in top dead center, which there's two top dead centers on here because that crank actually has to go around twice for each time the piston goes up and down. And then this up here is on both of those gears. So I had to get it to adjust a couple of gears to get it just right. And at this point, cam lobes are down, these two tick marks are in the right place, and that other thing is on TDC. Now the engine is in true top dead center, and all of the gears and everything should be lined up. So if your timing chain ever gets off, this is how you get it back to set to true TDC. And then one last thing to do is, now that you put the head back on, everything's all sealed up, then you do need to make sure that you check your valves, and you could probably just feel them. You should just barely get a little bit of movement out of them. So you don't want them to be too tight. They should just barely wiggle. And you can test that. It's a 1/5 or a 0.15 millimeters, and you're looking for that to 6/1000ths, and that's the amount of space between the top of the valve and this bolt. So you'll have to untwist this 10mm, and then you put a slotted screwdriver on there, loosen and tighten that until it's just tight. Then you kind of have to put a box in around it, and if you have an offset box in, it actually fits in there the best. And then you hold that slotted screwdriver while you tighten that down, and you do want to make sure those are nice and snug so that this doesn't come loose. But that should give you properly seated valves. Everything should be good to go, and now you can put it back together and you should be set. And with it all back together, turn the ignition, and instant fire.